Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is my 29-week pregnancy update. I have 11 weeks left. That is insane to me. So if you're new here, my name is Linny. This is baby number 2 for me. My husband and I conceived both of our children through in vitro fertilization, which is otherwise known as IVF. It is a fertility treatment. So it was a long road to get here. I am so excited. And yeah, let's just get right into the update. Today I am 29 weeks and 1 day pregnant. Baby is about 15 inches long and 2.5 pounds. The size of a butternut squash, a Hawaiian pineapple, an acorn squash, which I believe last week one of them was a winter squash. So that's funny. It's funny that I never realized there were so many different types of squash. I guess similar to a pineapple, because this one specifically says Hawaiian pineapple. Are there other types of pineapple? Because I was unaware of that. And then for you 90s babies out there, Mr. Potato Head, which to me seems much smaller than the other things that I mentioned. Weight gain this week, I'm excited to share with you because I actually gained nothing. So I believe last week I weighed 157.2 and this week I weighed 157. So I actually lost 0.2 pounds. So maybe I'll level out here and gain, I'm aiming for 40 pounds. That's about what I gained with my daughter. So you figure, so far I've gained 31 pounds because I started at 126. So I have 11 weeks and that's about 9 pounds. So we'll see. I know you gain more in the 3rd trimester. That's when baby really packs on the weight. I have my glucose test this week. It's actually in like 2 days I have my glucose test. So I've really been watching what I've been eating this past week and trying to not eat as much sugar and not as many carbs and eating more fruits and veggies, which some fruits actually have a high amount of sugar. So I'm trying to be careful with how much fruit I'm consuming as well. And then also I stopped drinking coffee this week. So we'll see how long I can last without going for coffee. But I feel like once you get past that first week, that's the hardest. Then it's easy. I'm not a huge coffee drinker. I've really loved like going to get the Starbucks drink. I've been getting a grande vanilla sweet cream cold brew with this vanilla sweet cold foam on top. So I believe that it's probably packed with sugar. And it just tastes so good. The pumpkin spice cold brew is my all-time favorite. So when that comes out, I'll definitely probably start getting Starbucks again. But I don't really like suffer headaches or anything when I stop drinking coffee. I feel like because I don't drink a ton of coffee anyways. So that was a long rant about that. My symptoms this week, so I would say probably one of the biggest symptoms is the leg cramps when I'm sleeping. And this happened with my daughter as well. I remember towards the end of my pregnancy or in the 3rd trimester, I started getting leg cramps like in my calf muscles. And if you don't know, I've heard that you can like eat mustard to make it stop like instantly. I don't know that I could stomach that. So what I do is I just flex my leg and it stops instantly. It does hurt to flex your leg during the cramp, but I know that, you know, the cramp hurts anyways. And I know that if I can get my foot flexed, then the cramp will stop. And for me that works. So that's what I do. It probably happened at least 3 times, I would say, this week while sleeping. I've definitely been more out of breath as of recently. And I would say having to go to the bathroom much more. And then the other thing that I want to mention, which I don't think I've really talked about in any of my updates. So I was having cramps. I don't know. See, I never know if they're cramps or if I should say they're Braxton Hicks. So I don't know. Either way, I was having either Braxton Hicks or cramps this week. Actually, last night, like this morning, I guess, when I woke up, I was feeling somewhat crampy. And then yesterday, while I was working, I was feeling like somewhat crampy. I would say it feels more like cramping opposed to like the Braxton Hicks tightening. But I wouldn't say it feels like a contraction. I don't know. It feels like cramps. So I don't know if it's stretching. I don't know. I'm going to ask my doctor when I go in for my glucose test in 2 days. But anyways, what I wanted to say was I don't think I've mentioned this in any of my updates, but I have felt for majority of this pregnancy like I would have this baby early. And by early, I don't mean like extremely early, like tomorrow or next week. I just think I will have the baby before my due date. Hopefully after 37 weeks. But, you know, I don't know why I've had this feeling, but I've had it for quite some time now. And I haven't really mentioned it to anyone other than my husband. And the baby has the hiccups right now, which I think the last time I was filming, the baby had the hiccups too. And they're very, very low in my crotch, which I believe means that baby is head down. I have no idea. But anyways, back to having the baby early. Yeah, I don't know. I've just felt like baby will come early. So we'll see. I went a week late with my daughter. I don't know, this pregnancy has just been so different and I've been so much more stressed out with other life events happening. So there's that. Cravings. What I had a dream about donuts this week, so I've really been craving donuts apparently, which has been, I think I've craved donuts like 3 or 4 times throughout this pregnancy. I don't think I ever craved donuts with my daughter, so that's interesting. But still haven't had my hibachi. Would love to get hibachi. And that's about it for my cravings. My sleep has been, it's been, let's just say. So I've been able to fall asleep. It's the staying asleep because I'm now waking up to have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And if I get up out of my bed, I cannot fall back asleep for at least 2 hours. So I try really hard to just go back to sleep when I wake up having to pee, but then I end up waking up again in like a half hour still having to pee. So it is a struggle at this point. It's usually around like 3 a.m. where I wake up and have to go to the bathroom. And I would say I've consciously stopped drinking water or anything past 8 p.m. So maybe I need to bump it down to 7:30. I don't know. It's crazy. But then I'm so thirsty too at night that I just want to drink water, which is what mainly I've been drinking, is water. My gender guess this week is, I don't know. I have had no strong, guess with this baby. So I've said boy. I think I've said boy in every single update. And I think I would still say boy right now. But it's just not by a lot. It's there's a very strong possibility it could be a girl, obviously. but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and guess boy. I really don't know. Stretch marks, yes. I don't believe I've gotten any new ones since last week, and I really cannot tell if I believe I've gotten a few new ones, but I don't know if some of my old ones are just getting worse or looked more stretched out now that my stomach is stretched out. I don't know. Movement. So baby has been moving like crazy, specifically when I'm laying down. When I'm laying down at night, baby is like having a dance party in my belly. I'll insert a clip for you guys. But I am convinced that this baby is nocturnal because it literally moves all night long. Anytime I wake up in the middle of the night, the baby is up. It's moving. I don't think it sleeps at night. Throughout the day, and I think especially because I'm working, so I'm on my feet all day. And if I'm not working, I usually have my daughter, who is 3, so I'm on my feet with her. So throughout the day, I'm normally walking around or standing up, which usually they say the rocking of your body when you're walking puts the baby to sleep. So I rarely feel the baby move throughout the day. It's not until nighttime when I lay down in my bed that baby wakes up. So I'm pretty sure we have a nocturnal child, which is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes for us. Best moment of the week. So the best moment this week was getting the carpet put in the nursery finally. So the nursery is like all painted. I'm actually sitting in it right now, and I'll show you guys a clip at the end of the video. But the nursery is completely painted. It has carpeting. Now it just needs the furniture. So I think tomorrow after work, I think I'm going to set up the crib and the rocking chair, and then we'll just need a dresser, which is coming from my daughter's room. So basically my daughter is getting a whole new bedroom set, and all the stuff in her room is going to come into the nursery. Her bed is currently a toddler bed, or the crib is currently transitioned into her toddler bed. So I'm just going to move it into her here. All of her furniture is white. I'm going to move the rocking chair from her room into here. And then her dresser is also going to come into here. But it's going to be a little bit before that comes in here because we don't have her dresser yet. But other than that, we have pretty much everything. I think I would like a bookshelf for the baby's room as well. But other than that, the crib and the rocking chair will be in here. It is so crazy. I don't think I'm gonna hang anything on the walls just yet, just because we don't know the gender of the baby. And since we painted the room gray, if it is a boy, we're probably gonna go with like an Ohio State Buckeyes theme, because we live in Ohio and my husband is a huge Buckeyes fan. And if it is a little girl, I'm thinking we'll go with flowers, like some sort of floral. I don't know. Those are my ideas. So we probably won't hang anything on the walls, but it is going to be so crazy to see a crib in this room, or even to just set up the crib and like have a crib at all in this house is just wild to me. Worst moment of the week. So, the worst, I feel like this is going to be a long update. The worst moment this week was my 3-year-old choked on a cupcake gummy. So the little cupcake gummy, the bottom of it was probably the size of a quarter. So it just fit perfectly in her throat. And I don't know if it like slid down her throat or she swallowed it whole. But when it came out, it was whole. It was completely traumatizing for both me and her and my family because it happened at my grandma's house. So it was my grandma, my grandpa, my cousin, me, my aunt, and Rosalie. And she was playing a game with my cousin. She had just gone to the bathroom, so she gets a treat after she goes. So she wanted this little cupcake gummy. So while she's playing the game, she must have put it in her mouth. And the next thing I know, I look up at her and she's like staring at me wide-eyed with her mouth like, and she's not making any noise. And I immediately knew something was wrong. And my first response was, "Oh my God, are you choking?" And she then came running towards me, still mouth open, couldn't say anything. And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're choking." So I started hitting her on her back and nothing was happening. Like, she couldn't talk. And at that point I could hear that she was like trying to breathe or gasp for air and she like could not breathe. So then I really started panicking. So I was sitting down. So I like picked her up and threw her over my legs so her belly was down, and I just started like whacking, like pounding on her back. And of course my grandma's like, "You're hitting her way too hard." But like in my mind, all I could think was that cupcake needs to get out of her throat right now. So I didn't care how hard I was hitting her. Like honestly, in my mind, I was thinking I'm not hitting her hard enough. So I was just literally pounding on her back. And I must have pounded on her back a good 20 to 30 times, like good hard pounds with her laying on my lap before it finally like shot out of her mouth. The whole piece, like one whole piece. So it was traumatizing. It was hard. As soon as it came out of her mouth, I wanted to bawl my eyes out, but because I knew she was so scared, because she probably didn't know, she's never choked before, so she probably didn't know like what was happening. Then I'm beating on her back. So she cried for a good 15 minutes after that, and I held it together, though I wanted to just bawl my eyes out because I was like so like adrenaline pumping, worked up, like could not believe that just happened. And my cousin was like turned white. I thought he was going to pass out. I was seconds away from screaming, "Somebody call 911," because I was that like panicked. It was traumatizing. So now of course I've gone on YouTube and I've watched a bunch of different videos of what to do when your child chokes. And it seems like I did the right thing. And luckily it dislodged from her throat and came out. But had it not dislodged and came out, I guess when your child is over a year old, you can do the Heimlich on them. You do risk chance of cracking their ribs. But when your child can't breathe or speak because they're choking on something, that is going to be your last concern, let me tell you. Because the thought crossed my mind, should I do the Heimlich on her? But then she's so tiny, I was like, oh my God. You know, you have all these thoughts when something like this, like things were racing through my mind so fast. Like that was my natural instinct, was to start hitting her on her back and do exactly what I did. The year that she was born, I actually took a infant CPR class, but that was 3 years ago. I think your certification is only good for 1 year. But I do somewhat remember like some of the things that I learned, like definitely don't stick your fingers down their throat unless you can see the item and you know that you can grab it, which I was so panicked. I didn't even look in her mouth. I knew she was choking. She couldn't breathe. So that was my initial reaction, was to pound on her back and thank God that it came out. But yeah, otherwise if your child is still conscious, the second thing you would do is start doing the Heimlich. And if it still doesn't come out that way and they end up passing out, then you have to start infant CPR. So if you're watching this and you're having a newborn or you have children, I do recommend looking into maybe taking a class in somewhere. I know they have online classes also, or even just watching some YouTube videos, because I never thought that would happen. I mean, I knew there was a huge possibility that she could choke on something, but you just never know, you know? So it's better to be safe than sorry. So do yourself a favor and go ahead and watch some infant CPR videos and what to do if your child chokes on something, because thank God that came out of her throat. But that was definitely by far the worst moment this week, this month. I mean, a lot's gone on this year, so. But yeah, that could have possibly been the worst moment this year so far. So, very scary. Miss anything? I miss my body the way that it used to be. So that's the other thing I started doing this past week, is I'm doing a 30-day squat challenge and a 30-day push-up challenge, which are both apps that I downloaded on my phone. The squatting, actually, I've been reading a hypnobirthing book, and squatting is actually recommended in the book, like to start doing squats because it helps tighten a bunch of different things, and it's supposed to help with childbirth and make it a little bit easier. So anything to help the process, right? And yeah, so it's actually felt good to do some sort of workouts. I walk at least 2 to 3 times a week for like a good 2.5 to 5 miles, I would say, give or take. So I definitely miss my old body. I was in the best shape probably of my entire life before I got pregnant. And I know I'll get there again. It was very hard work to get to that point, but I'll definitely get there again. But that's what I miss right now. Anything make you sick or queasy? And my answer is no. It's pretty much no every week. What are you looking forward to? So this is actually funny. It dawned on me this week. I'm going to be turning 30, not this week, but the following week. So it'll actually be next week. When I'm 30 weeks pregnant, I'm going to be turning 30 that week. So it's actually kind of funny to me because I turned 29 weeks this week, and it is my last week being 29 years old. And next week, when I turn 30 weeks, I will be also turning 30 years old. So I never ever imagined in my life that for my 30th birthday, I would be 30 weeks pregnant. I will actually be 30 weeks and 4 days pregnant on my birthday. So yes, I'm going to be in my 30s. It is my last week of my 20s. So here we are. Hopefully it's a good one. Are your rings? They are still on. My belly button is definitely out at this point. Moody or happy? I will say I was struggling yesterday, and today have been hard days for me. I'm trying to stay busy. But I feel like overall I've been happier. I don't know. I feel like this week I've been a really good mix of both moody and happy. This week has been somewhat of a struggle for me. So, yeah, that's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the room, baby's nursery, and then I'll do my bump shot. All right, so here is the room. This is the carpet I picked. This little rug in here is actually going to be in my daughter's room. I just laid it out so it could flatten because it was rolled up, so it kind of was all bumpy. But this is the carpet. It is literally the softest carpet you will ever feel in the room. This has to go. I'm gonna have my brother move that today, actually. But so this wall, and I don't know if you can tell. Oh, here, you can tell here. This wall is a little bit darker than this wall over here. So we left that wall darker, and I'm thinking the crib will go here, rocking chair here, and then it's kind of a weird shaped room because it goes back to this little like cove back here. So I'm thinking we're gonna put the dresser like right here so it will kind of go back into that cove. But then over here is the closet, which I still have some of my stuff in, and you can see we're not like this we had because my husband, like I said, is an Ohio State fan. But I thought it was funny when I was cleaning out the room that I found that. I'm like, maybe that's a sign that we are having a boy. But this is what this closet looks like. There's a bunch of stuff still in here that I need to clean out. All of my medical containers from when we did IVF. But I mean, it's much, much more clean than it was. And this is like stuff for me and going to the hospital and stuff that I've started getting for the baby. But that's everything that I have out right there for the baby so far. So I'm excited to start washing baby clothes and stuff too. So here is my 29-week bump. My last bump shot in my 20s. 20 weeks and 20s age-wise. And here it is with my shirt up. That is it for my 29-week pregnancy update. Hopefully it wasn't too long and boring and drug out for you. If you liked it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.